power, passion, betrayal, and a public execution that shook the very foundations of a European monarchy. Sounds like something ripped straight from a political thriller or an episode of Game of Thrones, right? But this story is 100% real. Danish court of the 18th century, a place where enlightenment clashed with absolute power, and where one man rose from the shadows to control a kingdom, only to be brought down by love, scandal, and revenge. This is the extraordinary tale of Johann Friedrich Struensee, royal doctor, radical reformer, and lover of the Queen. Welcome to What Happened, where we unravel the greatest moments in history, one country at a time. And for our 20th chapter, we are exploring the Denmark's royal scandal. Let's rewind to the year 1768. Denmark is under the rule of King Christian VII. Young, aristocratic, and wildly unstable. Christian's behavior was erratic, his moods unpredictable, and his grasp on reality often questionable. Some say he suffered from schizophrenia. Others claim bipolar disorder. Either way, the court knew one thing. Christian was a king in title, but incapable of ruling. Johann Friedrich Struensee, a German doctor, unknown, unremarkable, but armed with two dangerous weapons, a brilliant mind and a silver tongue. Struensee was hired to be the king's personal physician during a grand European tour. But it quickly became clear that Struensee was more than just a doctor. He was a master manipulator. He gained Christian's trust, calmed his fits, whispered ideas of reform, and within months was controlling the king from behind the curtain. Denmark had a monarch, but Struensee was the one pulling the strings. And what did he do with that power? He didn't just sit on it. He ignited a political revolution. Struensee issued over 1,000 laws in less than 2 years. He abolished torture, outlawed corruption, supported press freedom, reduced noble privileges, promoted smallpox vaccinations, and cracked down on government waste. To the common people, he was a hero. To the aristocracy, he was an arrogant outsider who had no business in their world. And if things weren't already explosive enough, Struensee made one fatal mistake. He fell in love with the Queen. Caroline Matilda, sister to King George III of Britain, was just 15 when she was married off to King Christian VII. Isolated in a foreign court, married to a husband who could barely function, she was lonely, miserable, and trapped. Then came Struensee, intelligent, bold, passionate. The two found in each other what they lacked in the court: connection, conversation, and eventually desire. Their affair was passionate and reckless. Letters were exchanged, meetings held in secret. But the court was full of eyes and ears, and whispers spread like wildfire. Soon, it wasn't just rumor. It was open court gossip. The Queen was sleeping with the king's doctor, and everyone knew it. But here's the twist. King Christian, he didn't seem to care. He was either unaware or simply uninterested. In fact, he continued to sign off on Struensee's reforms, perhaps too far gone to realize what was happening around him. That only made the scandal worse. In 1772, just as Struensee's power seemed untouchable, the backlash began. Led by Queen Dowager Juliane Marie and her son Prince Frederick, a secret coup was launched to reclaim the throne and destroy Struensee. In the dead of night, masked guards stormed the palace. Struensee was arrested in his chambers. The Queen, still in her nightgown, was seized and placed under guard. The king was manipulated into signing the arrest warrant with trembling hands. Struensee was imprisoned, interrogated, and eventually tried for treason and adultery. His political reforms were reversed. His reputation dragged through the mud, and the court demanded blood. On April 28, 1772, Johann Friedrich Struensee was executed before a massive crowd in Copenhagen. His right hand, the one he used to sign the king's decrees, was cut off before he was beheaded. His body was then quartered. It was a message, a warning, a punishment made for spectacle. Caroline Matilda was exiled to a remote castle in Germany, never to see her children again. She died just 3 years later, alone, at the age of 23. As for King Christian VII, he remained on the throne, officially, but his power never returned. Denmark would continue under regency, and the Enlightenment fire Struensee had sparked was quickly smothered. But here's the thing. Today, many historians look back and ask, was Struensee really a villain or just a visionary ahead of his time? His reforms, some of which were reinstated decades later, foreshadowed modern democracy. His ideals reflected the very spirit of the Enlightenment. And his fall? It wasn't because he ruled poorly, but because he dared to challenge an entire system of privilege. A doctor who ruled a kingdom, loved a queen, and died for his ideals. That's not just history, that's legend. So next time you hear someone call the 1700s boring, tell them about Johann Struensee. Because sometimes the real world writes better drama than Hollywood ever could. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this royal scandal, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more thrilling stories from the shadows of history. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and above all, stay curious.